Alright, welcome back, guys. Today we are diving into something that caught the music world in total spin. A real puzzle that has fans and critics asking some pretty huge questions. We are digging into 2025's VMA's Best K-pop category. So, how does one award category manage to set off this huge international debate? With confusion, criticism, even accusation flying around. Well, to get to the bottom of it, we got to go back where it's all started. Okay. So the first was lit on August 5th, 2025. The moment VMA's nomination dropped, boom, the best K-pop category just became the lightning rod for controversy. So let's play detective for a minute here and actually look at the evidence. Because to really get why everyone's so upset, you first have to see who was on that list. Okay, so here is the list of nominees. Now we have got some heavy hitters on this. Example, aespa, Jimin, Stray Kids. But the thing that made everyone do a double take, all four back members, Genie, Jisoo, Lisa, Rose, were nominated for their solo songs. I mean, a full clean swipe for each member. So at a glance, it is just a list of absent superstar, right? But fans and critics, they took a closer look. That's when the whole thing started to unveil. Because they found two major problems. And here is our first big clue. In this whole mystery, the problem wasn't just about who was on this list. It was about who was not on it. So Jimin from BTS, he got nominations. Awesome. But fans were totally floored to see that two of his bandmates were nowhere to be found. Yes, so both Jin and J-Hope has dropped these huge successful solo tracks. They were big deal, critically acclaimed, and the fans were totally mad about that. They were quick to point out that by a lot of key metrics, we are talking about sales, stream chart. This song actually did better than some of the songs that did get nominations. And this comment from one of the fans, it just nailed the frustration perfectly. See, it's not just, hey, my favorite artist didn't get the award. It is about total lack of transparency. It makes you wonder what are the rules here? How are these things even decided? And that question, it lead us right into the second and honestly maybe even bigger problem. This whole thing really forced a massive question out. What do the MVA even think about K-pop is because the rules of the game seem super blurry. Let's just take a one example that blew people's mind. Lisa's song Born Again. Okay, so Lisa is Thai. The song is 100% in English. It features a American and British artist and yet it is nominated for best K-pop. See the disconnect? This comment from social media just hit the nail on the head. The point here isn't that the song is bad or it doesn't deserve VMA. Not at all. The argument is it feels like it belongs in another category, like best pop. Putting it under K-pop seems to say that genre is defined by the artist's company, not actually music. So you can see why people are frustrated, right? And the rules doesn't make the sense and big names are left out. You naturally ask why? What is the real motive here? And that lead everyone to ask this really crucial question. If these nominees aren't pure about artist metric or success, what else would they be about? And a pretty popular theory popped up almost immediately that this was all about business, a more strategical move to get more eyeballs and engagement. I mean, it's not a secret that K-pop fandom are incredibly organized and passionate. They show up for online voting, they drive trends. So if you nominate artists with this huge active fan base, well, that's pretty sure way to boost your show's rating and social media buzz. This comment really sum up that whole theory perfectly. Think about it, nominating 3 out of 4 Blackpink member would be kind of awkward, right? But nominating all 4, you got just that massive global fan base, the Blink, a huge reason to get involved, to vote and watch the show. So for a lot of people, this look like less genuine award and more like a very smart play for engagement. But here is the thing. This whole mess, it is not really just about this one award show in 2025. It is actually tapping into this much deeper ongoing frustration about how Western award shows tend to treat international artists in generally. And here is actually word for this feeling, categorization. Basically, it's when you create this specific niche category for artists from non-Western background. It sounds inclusive, but what it can do is open a separate box, probably keep them out of the running from biggest award of the night. Like best pop or artist of the year. And this is the real heart of the conflict. Fans are pointing out that even when K-pop artists make a massive global hit sung in English that sounds just like any other pop song, it's still get funneled into the best K-pop category. It stopped them from competing on the main stage and kind of send a message that their music is different or maybe not seen as being on the same level. Why should we care? What's the big deal? Well, because it makes you question how far these big award shows really are. It can actually limit an artist's career growth and recognition. And it take all these incredible diverse artists who are making pop, hip hop, and crams them into this one single box labeled K-pop just because of where their industry is based. So when you peel back all the layers, the 2025 VMA mass wasn't just about current feeling. It has really peeled the current back with an award system that's just struggling to keep up. The music world is changing fast. It is more global, more fluid than ever before, and the old categories just aren't cutting it anymore. And that leaves us and the entire music industry with a really tough question to chew on. Now that music zipped across the globe in an instant, and how are we supposed to define it? Is it about the artist's passport, the language they sing in, the culture roots of genre? There are no easy answers.